UFC Fight Night Sandhagen versus Figueiredo, chat. It's upcoming this Saturday. And listen, after last Saturday, I went 13 for 14 in picks, and it's kind of getting frustrating, bro. Like, I can't keep claiming self-proclaimed, best predictor. If I'm not getting 14 out of 14, I looked at this card. Some of the fights are close. It's going to be tight, man. But I believe in Mr. Kenny, so let's get these predictions going. So we're going to go full card predictions, starting off with, of course, the first card or the first fight of the card. Bro, Juliana Miller and Ivana Petrovic. I seen a little bit about Miller. I used to think she was actually going to be really good. Like, I remember her in Dana White Contender Series. I had high hopes for her. But she comes in the UFC, she kind of just looks very mid. Both people are coming off losses. But Juliana Miller looks very disappointing since her arrival to the UFC. I think she was just more of a Dana White Contender Series merchant, innit? Like, I think that's what it comes down to. Like, just a Dana White. Some people are just meant to be good in Dana White Contender Series. Then you bring them in the UFC and they kind of just shit the bed. That's kind of Juliana Miller. So I'm not. There's no way I'm gonna pick her. I'm going Iva Petrovic, and I feel like she's gonna use her striking and her grappling to get the win over Juliana Miller. And when Miller is on the ground, I've noticed she's kind of complacent on her back. So I am gonna not confidently, because it's a woman's fight. No, like, who gives a crap, brother? They ain't a real bad woman here, brother. So I'm going Ivana. I'm going Ivana Petrovic. I can't say her last name for the life of me, but Petrovic's probably going to get it done. Juliana Miller is just a little bit lackluster. So I'm more picking this based off of how lackluster Juliana Miller is in contrast to how great Ivana is, because I don't think she's all that great. All right, I'm done talking. I'm done saying this stupid-ass fight. I'm moving on. Now, this is a banger, man. Oh, my God. Thomas Peterson, man. This guy's built, bro. He's built like a strong-ass refrigerator, bro. Those are the most dangerous people in the world, though, like the strong-built refrigerators. But Dantel Mays has hands. Dantel Mays, despite his record, he's a pretty solid striker. His lack of wrestling is a little bit concerning, and Thomas Peterson's ability to mix it up pretty well. It probably won't be it's going to be a tough night for Dantel Mays in the office, I'll be real. Like, I really think Thomas Peterson has more paths to victory. So that's going to make me lean towards Thomas Peterson here. Thomas Peterson's boxing is actually pretty crisp as well. I know Dantel Mays has some good hands, but I think Thomas Peterson's going to use his boxing to set up some takedown opportunities. He's kind of just going to beat Dantel Mays kind of however he wants to. I do think he needs to mix it up to a good amount to like get a victory over Dantel Mays. And he is the type to shoot takedowns if necessary. And it's going to be necessary in this fight because just trading with Dantel is kind of dumb, dude. It's like you don't trade with the gorilla, bro. Like, gorilla, you need strategy, bro. Like, all right, I'm not calling him all right, buddy. See, I'm not calling him a gorilla. I'm just saying, like, I don't know where I was going with that. But Thomas Peterson, bro, I just feel like he's more complete. And he's a real bad man, bro. He's going to put the beats on him. And Peterson's he's a slept-on boxer. But his wrestling's going to win in this fight 100%. Dantel Mays, he just can't stuff a takedown for the life of him. Ilia Saporoya versus Kuang Lee. Now, this is a good fight because Ilia, bro, like, he has a really good boxing stance and power. Now, this guy actually kind of fights like Ilia. You know what gets me weird? It was weird about this dude is that he, like, kind of tries to... I don't think he tries to look like... You don't try to look like anyone. But he looks like Ilia, and then he's rocking the red shorts. It's just like he's Ilia, man. And he has a boxing stance, too. He's a pretty solid striker. But now I think Gaston's going to be too much on the feet for Kuang Lee. Kuang Lee's a pretty decent striker from Vietnam. But I feel like Gaston's the better boxer out of the two. And I feel like it's going to be a primary boxing match. I don't see much either guy shooting or takedown. If anything, it's going to be Kuang Lee maybe mixing it up because sometimes Gaston's really heavy on that front foot. And I think that could be to his detriment. Lee's also going to throw some low kicks to, compromise him. But, Gaston doesn't really do a great job checking low kicks. So that's my only concern. But I think the Peruvian is going to go in there and just put the beats on him in the boxing. And he's going to do enough to get the win. That's all that matters, bro. Just doing enough. So I got Gaston Balones. I got Ilia Saporoya winning by KO or points, so I'm going to go Ilia Saporoya. Now, this fight's actually a banger, man. People don't want to respect a fight like this, but I am. I think Mariana Rodriguez is actually really good. And I think Gileia Robertson is the strawweights, like, she's a really good wrestler. I'm not going to say Habib, but she's a really good wrestler. There's some females who are great wrestlers, like Verana's one of them. Robertson's one of them, too. I think Jillian, she's, like, really strong physically, and her wrestling's going to be the decision maker in this fight. Because Mariana, as long as she's on her feet, she's fine, but she doesn't have the best takedown defense, and she's going against Gileia Robertson, who's going to shoot and fill a couple takedowns, but she's never going to stop. She's actually like the Canadian GSP, who's a woman. Bro's like Canadian GSP. Like, all right, Kenny. She's like the female GSP because she's Canadian. You know, she has good wrestling. Her striking is not really great, but she uses her striking just to set up takedown entries. And once she gets you on the ground, she'll be very physically strong. So I think she's gonna just take down Mariana, take the easiest path to victory, and she's gonna fucking hump her on the ground. Dude, she's gonna beat her up. Probably points. I think she's gonna win by points. She could get a submission. You know, her BJJ is pretty solid, but I like Mariana. I usually pick for her to win fights, but this is just a tough fight stylistically, just given the diversity and like, yeah, minus 325. Jeez, bro. The odds makers know something. But yeah, I'm going Gileia and Robertson. I just feel like her wrestling is going to be the decision maker in this fight. All right, next up we got Ryan Loer versus Asma Beckov. I got Asma beating up Ryan Loer. I think Ryan Loer is like, bro, why is he dressed like in the tough uniform? Dude looks like a fucking, oh my goodness. Ryan Loer is pretty solid though, but I do think Asma's just more well-rounded. He's strong physically. This is a Russian guy. You know, he's gonna smash, brother. I think he's gonna smash. You know, I got Asma winning just via strength, veracity, and he's gonna have the grappling. He's actually a pretty decent striker as well as a grappler though. He has heavy hands enough to keep up with Loer, but as far as the grappling is concerned, I just don't see Ryan keeping up with him. But Ryan Loer has 100% takedown defense, so I'm assuming he hasn't, you know, went against a wrestler to the extent of Beckov, but we're going to see that 100% takedown defense. We're going to see it at work, so we'll see how he does in that. He's only had 9 fights, so he's a little bit relatively new, but I think it won't be enough to stuff the takedowns of Beckov, but we're going to have to see how that fight goes, but I am pretty confident Asma. Minus 395 might be a little too high, but I do got Asma winning for sure. Oh, Misha, I didn't know Misha Tate was on this card, you know. I didn't even know that, you know. Fucking hell. We got Misha Tate and Jana Santos. Wow. Okay. Misha Tate's here. Okay, Misha Tate's definitely going to grapple. The girl she's going against seemingly has like relatively no grappling defense. 42% takedown defense. That's very, I'll be real, I don't know much about either, but they both look older. So I think this is an older gen fight, kind of just giving Misha Tate a win. I thought Misha Tate was gone, you know. Fucking A. I got Misha Tate by points, man. She might be old, but looks like Jana's old too. Bro said looks like Jana's old. I'm looking at her face right now, the Jana Santos, and I'm judging by her face. I think she old, brother. I think she old. So I got Misha Tate using her wrestling. And it's going to be the decision maker in this fight. I think her wrestling is going to get her the win because this girl just statistically has bad takedown defense. So I'm leaning Misha Tate. Didn't even know she was on the card. You find something new every day. All right, finally, we're at the main card where stuff starts to heat up. Jeremy Stephens is back for a 1-fight deal in the UFC. That's very interesting, you know. Going against Mason Jones. Now, Mason Jones has only 2 losses on his resume, yes, but I don't think I've seen him win in the UFC yet. Like, I don't think I've seen him win a single time. I swear he had like 2 losses and like a no contest. So he's not very good from what I've seen. But Jeremy Stephens, you know, he has some success in BKFC. He's coming to UFC. You know, brother, this is not BKFC, brother. This is not KFC, brother. You know, you're gonna come here, you're gonna get smashed. I think Mason Jones is gonna beat him. You know, Jeremy Stephens is just not Jeremy Stephens for real anymore. Like, this is not no prime Jeremy, dude. It just doesn't make sense that he's coming back. I get that he's looking really good in BKFC, but bare knuckle fighting, I feel like it's just a lot different, and like the strategic approach is different. In UFC, I just don't think he's going to be enough, especially because Mason Jones can grapple to a decent extent. So I am going to lean Mason Jones, and I think he's going to win this fight. I don't know the odds. Minus 575 is kind of absurd, but I do got Mason Jones winning this fight. Jeremy Stephens won't be ready for a UFC test, in my opinion. Go back to BKFC. This fight's interesting. I actually don't know too much about like how this one goes because it's pretty evenly matched from the film I watched. I watched a little bit about both of them. Came in Smotherman and Sidney. Sidney is actually like very decent sometimes, and then sometimes he looks lackluster. But like he's riding more momentum than I feel like Cameron is. I feel like Cameron he got knocked out in the Dana White Contender Series, I believe it was. But other than that, he looks pretty solid. Like he just only had like I think 3 fights in the UFC. I'm pretty sure, like including Dana White Contender Series. He's a little bit less experienced than Sidney. That being said, it's like I think Sidney might have an advantage over him, but it's just gonna be if he could keep up with the speed of Smotherman. I just don't know if that's gonna be the case. It's going to come down to the speed of the strikes. And I feel like Cameron has like a hand speed advantage over Sidney. And I just don't see either one wrestling much. So despite the record, what are the odds? He's a slight underdog. I think I'm going to lean the slight underdog here, Cameron Smotherman. I just think he's going to do enough to get it done on the feet. You know, it's going to come down to who can land more. And I think Smotherman can land a lot more than Sidney. You know, Smotherman has gotten chin before, but I don't think Sidney carries crazy one-punch power. So I'm going to lean Smotherman, slight underdog, but I'll go for it. Okay, this fight's weird. Because Montel Jackson did chin, what's his name? Blackshear. And Blackshear striking, that aged really well, but it was like a 15-second fight. It was just like he caught him down the pipe. Daniel Marcos is not known for being a crazy finisher. He goes the distance and makes it a dogfight, but he hasn't lost yet. This fight is interesting to me, man. Because, like, Daniel Marcos, first of all, he's not even that crazy as far as, like, his skills concerned, but he knows how to make it a dogfight and outwork you. Like, you outwill. He hasn't lost yet, man. You know, and he's been against some decent names like Yanez. So, I don't know, man. This one's a tough one, dude. I feel as if the undefeated record looks very tempting. You know, and then Montel Jackson, I don't think he can keep up with Marcos as the fight elongates. Marcos might lose the first couple rounds, but I can see him like starting to build and build and build. Whereas but Montel can catch him, dude. Montel has power, dude. It's a tough fight to assess, man. This is the one fight I'm worried about getting wrong. And I know the odds are probably gonna favor Montel. Yeah, wow. They're even giving the undefeated guy the underdog spot. See, this is tough because I do think Montel's more skilled, but it's like Montel, if he can't get that finish, is Marco's gonna like just outwork him as the fight elongates. That being said, I'm gonna lean Montel Jackson, chat. I'll be real. I'm gonna lean Montel Jackson just because his striking seems to look a lot more technical and impressive to me than when I look at Marcos. He's not the best striker, but like he'll outwork you. It's weird. So I'm gonna lean Montel Jackson just off a gut, but I wouldn't be surprised if Daniel Marcos goes in there and has a decent performance. But like he's gonna have to last out the first round and kind of try to put it on Jackson as the fight elongates. That being said, Jackson has really good striking, and I just don't see much guy being in for the grappling, especially not Marcos. If anyone's gonna grapple, it's gonna be Montel. So I'm gonna lean Montel, but it's gonna be a close fight for sure. All right, Santiago Ponzinibbio. Bro said Ponzinibbio. I'm just not saying it. Versus Daniel Rodriguez. I don't know why I'm bad at names, shit. I swear I'm not that bad at names. I'm just fucking, sometimes I am. Santiago looks bad, and so does D-Rod. They both look bad, but they're winning. They both won their last fight. D-Rod disappointed me, even his last fight, because I picked him to win, but he just looked a lot more lackluster. It was a little bit too much on the back foot. Santiago's going to be on the front foot, bringing some boxing pressure. That being said, I'm going to want to lean Santiago in this fight. I'll keep it short and simple, guys, with this one. I think Santiago's just going to be a little bit more willing to stand in and trade, whereas D-Rod might be on the back foot a lot. D-Rod looked really good in like 2021, dude. Now he's just a little bit, he's slowing down, so I'm going Santiago. I don't know the odds. Yeah, pretty much pick him, because this is damn near a really close fight. But I am going to go Santiago here. I just feel like D-Rod's too slow on the feet, and like he's a little bit too reliant on being on the back foot. So I'm going Santiago for the win. This fight right here, chat, you know what's funny? I watched film before this video, but the whole week I was saying RDR's going to like just get him. He's going to outwork him. Do I still believe that? No. I watched film and I was like, fucking dude, Kenny, you almost did it again. I almost just made a really bad pick. And like I was right. I was saying D-Rod's going to, not D-Rod. I said RDR's going to make it like a dogfight. And he is going to make it a dogfight, but his striking's a little bit too green. And, like, I've noticed, like, he kind of relies on his wrestling and controlling people to, like, get out of tough spots and, like, his BJJ, you know. And he can take people down. Like, he's a good wrestler. But my thing is, like, you can only take people down to a certain extent, especially, like, a Bo Nickel. Like, I'm not saying Bo Nickel's untakedownable. Bo Nickel's inexperienced, but I feel like his inexperience comes from his lack of, like, killer instinct. When he has someone hurt, he doesn't really jump on the finish. As far as his movement, it's actually pretty solid. Like, he fights smart, like, to a point where it might be boring at times. But, you know, RDR is, like, he's just so bad, you know. His striking is really abysmal. I'm surprised he only lost twice, you know. But I see Bo Nickel just tagging him more on the feet, hurting him more on the feet. I could see a world where like Bo Nickel has him hurt, has him rocked, but doesn't go for the finish. I can see Bo Nickel by points though. I don't know how I picked RDR or was thinking RDR beforehand. Watching film is just like I sort of watching film's like a smack in the face sometimes because you think you know someone's gonna win. And then the fight's actually happening, like, oh shit, like, I don't know what I'm talking about. So thank God I watched this film before the fight. I am pretty confident that Bo Nickel gets it done. RDR is all right in a way, but he's not DDP. Like, even, like, his striking is green, but in an ugly way. Because, like, even, at least DDP's, like, coming forward, being aggressive. When he comes forward and being aggressive, I feel as if he just keeps his chin in the air, and he's just so easy to tag up. So I am going to say Bo Nickel is probably going to beat him by points. I think he rocks him and just doesn't jump on it. Maybe he jumps on it and finishes him. We're going to have to see when the fight happens. But I am going to go Bo Nickel. Switch my pick for sure. And main event of the evening, man, Corey Sandhagen versus Figgy. Yeah, both coming off of losses, but they weren't bad losses. Figgy lost to Jan. I believe Corey lost to Umar. I think that was his last fight. But this fight, it's going to be a good fight in the sense that the first round is going to be kind of competitive. Figgy's a really aggressive striker, and like he has really good power, enough to probably drop, not hurt Sandhagen, but like he might get Sandhagen in some compromising positions, drop him. But overall, 5'5" to 5'11", And Corey Sandhagen's like a long 5'11" too, you know. So I think that the height and the reach might be a little bit too much for Figgy to overcome, especially as the fight elongates. It's gonna be a 5-rounder. Figgy does have good endurance at flyweight. I feel like his endurance is gonna take a little bit of a hit at a bigger weight class. In the Jan fight, he kind of looked like he slowed down sometimes as well, and Jan started to grow. But then again, Jan's a grower. But it depends. This fight's it's an interesting fight, but I just think overall, Sandhagen has a lot more of a chance to beat him. He has like good explosivity. He has good range. He uses striking and movement really well. I can see his movement frustrating Figgy because sometimes Figgy tries to lock down and like chase you down. But it's hard to do that against Sandhagen, who's very bouncy in his stance. It's just a stylistic nightmare for like a Figgy, in my opinion. I think Corey goes in there, he sticks and moves, sticks and moves. Sticking and moving is the meta, you know. People think it's like a bad thing, but like I see Corey sticking and moving. He might even shoot a takedown or two just for fun, bro, just to like make him aware of it. Like I could take you down too. I'm sure Figgy's going to try to pressure, put him against the fence, and then grab a leg and just try to make it ugly. But Corey Sandhagen showed in the Umar fight that defensively he's very sound in the defensive wrestling. It's a hard fight for Figgy. I don't think it's possible for Figgy to win this fight. Like, I'll be real. I'm not trying to hate. I don't think it's possible. Minus 500, like, fuck, dude. I'm just annoyed about this because you're not making no money picking Corey Sandhagen. Because I think the odds makers just know. But, yeah, this is a pretty easy main card to bet on. If I were to tell you guys a parlay to do, I'd say this, guys. All right, so listen up. I'll go Robertson. I'll go, Beckov. I'll go, Bo Nico, and then Corey. That's it. But they're all big. And then if you want to make a risky pick, I'll go Montel over Daniel Marcos and maybe the underdog Cameron Smotherman. But overall, this card's not bad. It's not the craziest card. I'm just waiting for 315 or 315 with Bilal and JDM. That's the card I'm waiting for, bro. I'll be real. But this is my predictions for this card. I think I'm gonna go like 100%. If I'm not, I might get one wrong. I don't know which one, but that's it for me, bro. Hope you guys enjoyed and God bless. 2, 3.